What's up everybody, Nick back here with you from Project Central, and today we are going to be starting our review of the Predator 212cc chipper shredder. As you know, we just bought some land, about a little over 2 acres, and there's a ton of cedar trees on there that we need to chip up and make disappear. I'm going to make another video after this one talking about why we're chipping it instead of burning everything, so if you want to see that, stay tuned for that. But in this video, we're going to assemble the chipper, do the first start procedure, do a little bit of quick first impressions, and then we're gonna put this thing through its paces. So make sure to watch till the end so you can see the full review. Anyways, let's get started. So the first thing you'll notice is it does come in a pretty good sized box. It's definitely all the way there as far as weight, and it does say it is more than 100 pounds. I'll post the exact weight on the screen here. Let's take a look at this thing to begin with. 4-stroke engine, 3-inch cutting capacity. We're gonna check that out. All-terrain knobby tires. Anyways, it looks pretty good. It got pretty decent reviews. So I did buy this with my own money. Not sponsored. Hashtag. But I'd love to be sponsored. If you want to send me tools, I will absolutely check them out. I spent about 500 bucks of my own money on this. I did buy this with a 15% off coupon, and with tax and stuff, I think it was right around 500, give or take. So let's get this thing unboxed. All right, so what's in the box? As soon as you open it up, you've got instruction manuals, flapper for the top part, right? So this is a gasket, it looks like. Okay, set all this stuff off to the side. Parts, nuts and bolts, handle. Oh, it's probably the kickstand. Another part. Another part. Under the styrofoam. Voila! Oh my gosh. It comes in quite a few big chunks, right? So you don't have to mount the engine. I think the only thing we have to mount is both chutes, wheels, and a push bar. So let's finish getting everything else unboxed. Okay, got everything unboxed. Handle, kickstand, wheels. Thought it was funny. I know they have to do this, but not for highway use. So if any of you mad lads out there decide to do that. So it's really not that many pieces. Let's work on getting it assembled. So looking here at the instructions is pretty straightforward. You got to bolt the kickstand to the bottom of the motor, put the wheels on, attach the top hopper, and that's what it should look like when it's all you know, put together. Let's check it out. All right, I'm starting with the tires first. One thing I did notice, there's only 2 of these big washers. They're going to fit over that. And that goes in. One thing you got to remember is keep your valve stem to the outside. You don't want to, these do take air. You don't want to have this on the inside where you're not going to be able to reach it as easily. These cotter keys are pretty simple. You just put them in. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. They just bend those over. So that'll keep the tire from walking out. So after you get both tires on, go ahead and rotate this thing around. This thing's beefy, and we'll work on the kickstand next, which is this right here. It's got these rubber isolators that go right here to keep, I think, help keep vibrations down. Little washer, rubber insulator, kickstand, bolt with a washer on it. There's only 4 of these. 4 of these longer ones, so it should be pretty easy to identify. And there's only 4 of these washers, so I'm assuming these are the ones that go right here. That's how I'm going to do it, at least. And before I absolutely just drive these home with the ratchet, they are a 13 millimeter. 13 millimeter is what you'll need to get this thing assembled. Wheels are on, kickstand is on. It does have this little bit of rubber to hopefully help protect it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's stand this bad thing up, and we'll get the hopper put on right quick. So I was wondering what this thing was for, and after getting this stood up, it's pretty obvious at this point. That's going to get slid. That's because you are not going to be able to get a wrench and a nut on the back of that. Pretty clever. Pretty necessary. And then this gasket goes here. Let's get the hopper put on right quick. After you get all the nuts and bolts on this thing, go ahead and send it home. Like I said, these are 10 millimeters as well, so if you need to do some shopping, here's a good excuse to buy some more tools. All right, well, we got the top hopper on. Should have done this earlier when it was off, but this opening is basically a 4.5 by 2 1/4. Gosh, Lee, that is hard to measure. 2 1/4. Hope you can see that. And it does have a warning: small brush and leaves only. Do not insert branches. 1/2 inch stick diameter. So this is real. So this top is really more for, obviously, leaves and little bitty sticks and stuff like that. Our next step is we're going to put the handle on, and then we're going to put the cover on here, and then last step is going to put the main feeding tube in. Hopper chip flapper thingy is on. It's pretty simple, just 4 bolts. This is threaded, so it's pretty nice. You don't have to put nuts. You don't have to try and fish nuts on the back of that. Got the handle put on, and one thing that's nice, they included self-locking nuts on this, so hopefully these don't fall off and run through the chipper, because that would not be good. Next step, last assembly step, is going to be getting the limb, the main feeder thing in here. But first, did a crappy job on the last one. It is actually pretty close to 3 inches. You can see it's neck down a little bit down in there, but for the most part it's about 3 inches. So that's where the capacity comes from. All right, I'm curious, so I know you're curious. That is what the actual blade situation looks like. So, which is kind of nice. Looks like they're removable, so you can sharpen them and do some maintenance. We'll do that. We'll do a follow-up video here in a while. But let's get these on. Last one. Boom. And it's just more self-locking nuts. Alright, a couple thoughts after assembly. Pretty straightforward. Once you kind of know what pieces go where, and you start at the bottom, work your way up, process of elimination, you'll figure out which bolts go where. There's not that many. It's pretty simple. But obviously, if you have questions, post them down in the comments. If you have problems, we, the YouTubers on this video, can help. But my biggest tip is, if you're assembling, not just this, but whatever you're assembling, make sure to obviously start everything by hand. Don't just drive it home with the impact, even though we're a little bit wild sometimes. We like to do that. But 2, start, like I said, start everything by hand, and then keep everything loose till you have everything started. If you're trying to fit something like this that's got a bunch of nuts and bolts you got to put together, start them all loose and then tighten them all down. Make your life a lot easier. Let's put some oil in it and get it started. Oil and fuel, get it started. So if we look here at the instructions, it basically says fill it up until it runs out. So that's what we're going to do. And I just got a quart of, you know, SDP conventional motor oil. There's some debate as far as like whether you should use synthetic oils for, you know, brand new motors. I don't know. I'm not sold either way. This is just some cheap conventional oil. It's what, I don't know. Argue in the comments and educate me, please. How much do we dump out on the ground, do you think? Probably more than 0. We spilled a little bit, but we only used about half a quart, so it's not too bad. We'll put this in the truck, take it with us, so we have it out in the field. Next up, fuel. Let's go. Alright, as always, we got fuel in it, we got oil in it, a little bit of oil on the ground, that's normal. Make sure your switch over here is switched to on. We're going to turn the throttle all the way down, we just want it to idle. Choke is on, fuel is on. Just a second. Alright, fuel should be in the carburetor. Let's give it some pull, see what happens. I don't know why, but I always run 91 octane or premium, whatever premium is in your area. I always run premium in my small engines. I don't know, just always done it. Chainsaws, lawnmowers, pressure washer, stuff like this. All gets premium fuel. So, I don't know, it's something I've always done. I don't know if it makes a difference or not. But let's fire this thing up. Alright, actual first pull, see if it'll start. Get out here where you can hear me. So I'm gonna just let that run for maybe about 10 minutes, really get everything seated in, make sure the rings and pistons and everything's are working like it should. It literally started on the first pull. It was wild. One thing to notice, this is not like starting a lawnmower. You can tell that there's a pretty big weight added to the back of it, the flywheel for the chipping. So it definitely is a little bit, it definitely takes a little bit more to get it started, but it's not terrible. Just know that like, it's not like starting your lawnmower or like a pressure washer. You can tell there's basically a big flywheel on the back, like I said. But I'm gonna let this thing get warmed up, and then this weekend, which is gonna be in about 3 seconds for you guys, we're gonna take this out to our lane and we're gonna chip up a whole bunch of stuff. We're gonna put this thing through its paces and see what she'll actually do. So let's go. Out here at our land, and we are just now getting set up. It's a beautiful, nice Saturday morning. Boys are helping me this morning do this review of this wood chipper. We just bought a couple acres out here in central Oklahoma, and as you can see, we have been attacking these trees. The game plan for today is we're gonna have three different groups. One, small stuff like this, you know, small stuff like this is gonna get chipped up, and firewood, so anything that's, I don't know, won't fit in the chipper up to about 6 or 8 inches. And then any real big logs we're gonna keep for sawmilling in the future. But for now, we're gonna get chipping. You ready, Micah?
Yep, 100% ready.
All right, let's go. All right, well, we're just finishing up lunch. I want to show you our progress. Wood chipper, pile of wood chips. Not bad. Done pretty good. A bunch of the limbs that are out here, we've still got some to clean up over here. This area is looking a lot better. The boys really did a good job over here. We're gonna try and get some of this up here done today, and maybe drag some more of that stuff over here. Not super sure. What do you think, Clayton?
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's exhausting, but it's got to get done. All right, so I'm going to move the camera. We're trying to finish up this afternoon, and then here in just a little bit, I'll give you my final thoughts. Because I've got some thoughts on this thing. It's interesting. So we just got done for the day. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. We've been running this thing constantly since about 9 a.m. We've got some thoughts on it. First off, it did way better on fuel than I expected. I filled it up when we got here, and then I filled it up at lunch, and it never ran out of fuel. So it seems that on full throttle, it's pretty fuel efficient. I think it's only maybe like a 1 gallon tank, and it lasted for 3 or 4 hours at a time, 3 hours at a time for lunch, and then we had lunch about 12:30, and then so it lasted 4 hours this afternoon. So that was really good. All right, next thought over here at the firewood pile. This is what the learning curve looks like. You would think, oh, that's way less than 3 inches. That's only probably 1.5 inches, 1.75 inches. But see the little nub right here? That absolutely will stop a piece like this from fitting down the chute. And after a while, you really have to change how you're expecting to cut your cut your limbs up. Because if you're just cutting it like normal firewood, you're going to have a lot of stuff like this that's going to screw you and make it really difficult. It's got the clean out port in the back, but every time the motor stalled and every time I killed it was because I was either putting something too big in, or something like this got stuck and I had to turn it off and fish it out. Not once today did I get it stuck, or did I get the rotary part full of chips. It did a pretty good job at blowing all that stuff out. Next item is the chips. You can see here in this clip that overall chips are really good. It'll be really good for mulch. If you're just trying to mulch up some stuff like for your garden, it'll absolutely work. It does say chipper shredder. I don't know which one's the chipper and which one's the shredder, but whenever you put branches through here, that's what gives you the small pieces. The small pieces, like this little stuff like this size. Like that's this. When you feed it through the top, you're going to get these longer slivers. I think that's just the angle of how it hits the blades or something. I don't know exactly, but that's what I'm guessing. So just know that if you want all small chips, you're gonna have to go through here. And that is the next thing. This thing has about, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours on it now, and these are absolutely wiped out already. These are not gonna last long, especially these top ones. So those will probably go ahead and just get trimmed with a razor blade. Other than that, I like it. It did a really good job today. Once you figured out what you could force down its throat and what you can't, you know, once you get a good rhythm. I'm fortunate that I've got a couple teenage boys to help drag branches. And I probably owe them some pizza or something tonight. Nah, probably not.
What?
Do I owe you guys like pizza or something? You guys want pizza for dinner?
Yeah.
All right. Clayton doesn't get to eat. Micah gets to eat. So, did I waste $500 on this? To be fair, on my 2 acres that we just bought, it is probably undersized. I will most likely be out here for a very long time chipping it up. But that's fine. I got time. We're not building this year, so if I can get all the trees cut down and chipped up, that'll be a win. Stay tuned. At the end of this video, there'll be a link to another video about why we're chipping it and not burning it or hauling it off or whatever. So in another video, I'm going to talk about that. So if you're interested in why we're doing it, I'll go over all that there. But I don't think I wasted $500. I think this thing is pretty good. I will say the one complaint I have is that it is a little underpowered. When it says 3-inch log or 3-inch branch, that 3-inch branch needs to be about a foot long. If you have something that is 5 or 6 feet long, even if it tapers down lower, it is going to get bogged down, because the way this thing works is the engine spins basically a big flywheel with blades on it, and that centripetal force of that flywheel is what mulches, is what really allows it to impact hard and chip everything up. So when you get that flywheel to slow down to where it's not chipping and it gets bogged down, this motor just does not have the oomph, the torque, I guess, to keep it going. I'm running on 91 octane, and we're about, I don't know, 1,300 feet above sea level here in Oklahoma. So take that for what it is. We're going to get cleaned up, get this thing loaded up to go back to the house. But I will see you all in the next video. Let me know if you guys have a Harbor Freight chipper shredder. This is the Predator. This is the biggest one they sell. I wish they had a bigger one, or something to maybe have a bigger engine option. That would have been better. I don't mind the size of it. I just wish that when it said 3-inch, you know, it would handle 3-inch branches. It would actually handle like a full branch at 3 inches, not just little pieces. Anyways, we're gonna let all this mulch sit here, and I don't know, we'll figure out what to do with it later. Maybe we'll till it into the ground. Maybe we'll use it in the garden or something next year. But you guys do what you always do. Take care of one another, and I will see you next time, where we're doing something else out here probably. Bye.